India need 10 wickets to win with 6 sessions remaining on the first test of the Bangladesh versus India match at the Zahoor Ahmed Chaudhry Stadium in Chattogram. India have been dominating ever since they notched up 404 in the first innings. Bangladesh were bundled up for 150. India in return managed 262, and that is why you see that the likes of Cheteshwar Pujara, Shubman Gill, Kuldeep Yadav, they are all very, very happy indeed after their performances here. So Bangladesh have made a decentish start, scoring over 40 with the opening partnership, and India will be hoping that their bowlers can make inroads very early into this match. Now, I had said India had dominated in patches, right? India at the very start of the test match were reeling at 48 for 3. But Cheteshwar Pujara's 90 and Shreyas Iyer's partnership gave them a big, big boost. After that, it was Kuldeep Yadav and Ravichandran Ashwin who ensured that India crossed 400. Bangladesh, psychologically dented by that score, just could not cope up with the guile and the pace of Kuldeep Yadav and Mohammad Siraj. Mohammad Siraj wrecked the top order with 3 wickets. Swing, pace, bounce, everything was there. Kuldeep Yadav, his guile, 5 wickets, third 5-wicket haul and first Indian to take a 5-wicket haul in Chattogram. But in the second innings, there was a slight bit of controversy with KL Rahul not wanting to get the follow on. 254 runs, you would have hoped that, okay, why not enforce the follow on? But unfortunately, that did not happen. KL Rahul went cheaply, and after that, you saw Shubman Gill and Cheteshwar Pujara steal the show. Shubman Gill notched up his first of what might be many, many centuries in his making. But Cheteshwar Pujara, after 1,443 days, or 4 years later, Cheteshwar Pujara finally notched up his 100. And that is the main reason why India they scored at a pretty decent rate. This was Pujara's fastest ever century in Test cricket. Can you beat that? So, scoring at over 60 runs per over, 60 at a strike rate of 60, Cheteshwar Pujara ensured that India got 1 hour at the Bangladeshi players so that they could make some inroads. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. The opening duo managed 42, and Bangladesh will need, the target was 513. They have now erased 42 runs, and that is why they will now be needing 470 runs. If that happens, it will be a miracle in Test cricket. But the more realistic thing that we are looking at is India needs 6 sessions to take 10 wickets. Can they do it today itself? Will the match stretch into day 5? It remains to be seen. For the match to be made more interesting, Bangladesh's batters will have to show plenty of discipline. Shakib Al Hasan, Mushfiqur Rahim were all undone by Kuldeep Yadav. As I had said, Shakib Al Hasan played a very bad shot in the first innings. Mushfiqur Rahim unfortunately got trapped in the crease by Kuldeep Yadav's ripping leg break. So that is the reason why Bangladesh's batsmen will have to show plenty of discipline. And Liton Das should not fall into the sledging trap. Remember, he and Mohammad Siraj were at it on day 3. Siraj was saying this is not T20. He's looking at the way how Liton Das was scoring. But unfortunately, the bowler had the last laugh and Liton Das was cleaned up by a fantastic delivery from Siraj. Good length, jacking back in at pace, the off-stump knocked back, and that is why Bangladesh were staring at the abyss at one point in time. In the second innings, Bangladesh just spread the field out. They had surrendered to the fact that, okay, we may not make inroads into this Indian cricket team. Let us just drift. Let us go with the motions. And so that is why India scored at a very, very quick rate. But on the other hand, the application shown by the Bangladesh openers gives them a slight bit of confidence heading into day 4. But it is not going to be easy to survive in these conditions because India's bowling was very, very accurate, and it continued the trend that India, when it comes to test match cricket, they are a different beast altogether. On the other hand, there will be a lot of focus on Ravichandran Ashwin. Remember, Ravichandran Ashwin went wicketless in the first innings, and in this match also, in the second innings, he could not trouble the left-handers that much. Yes, he was getting some spin, there was low bounce, but the left-handers could tackle him pretty well. And remember, Ravichandran Ashwin has taken more wickets in the history of Test cricket of left-handers than any other bowler, even the great Muttaya Muralidharan as well. To see him being countered was a very, very odd sight, because Ashwin normally relies on accuracy, he relies on a lot of dip, flight, and a bit of spin to ensure that the left-handers are always caught unawares. Now, Ashwin will be hoping that he takes wickets on a consistent basis in the second innings here, because then the perception will build around the fact that Ravichandran Ashwin is only a rank turner bowler, which is not the case. He's had tremendous success in India on pitches which are flatter. In Chattogram, the pace seems to be very sluggish. The ball is turning square. The pitch is offering very low bounce. And Bangladesh will feel totally helpless in this. Because if not Ashwin, then Akshar Patel holds the key. Because Akshar Patel, wicket to wicket, that accuracy. And on top of that, if you look at the sluggish nature of the wicket, Akshar Patel actually holds the key in this. So the wickets which we are expecting could be from a hint of reverse swing, either by Siraj or by Umesh Yadav, because Umesh Yadav got only 1 over on day 3, and after that he was taken off the attack for the spinners to operate. Umesh, Siraj, Akshar and Kuldeep, these are the bowlers upon whom India will be hoping that they can take the wickets that are there. Ashwin, if he chips in, it will be a very good thing for India. You want a clinical win. You want a win which says, oh, okay, this was perfect on all facets. And remember, after this, India play in Mirpur, where Bangladesh have a much better record. So India will be hoping to avoid a slip-up at any cost at that point. The Border Gavaskar Trophy that will be held in February, March is the last series for India. And as we speak, Australia and South Africa have begun their epic series at the Gaba today. December 17 to 21st, they will be playing the first test match there. And remember, South Africa have won the last 3 series that they have played against Australia. In the aftermath of the Sandpaper Gate scandal, this is the first series that they're playing after close to 4 years. So a lot of eyes will be on that series as well. Remember, if Australia beats South Africa 3-0, then they have qualified for the World Test Championship final, even if they lose 0-4 to India. That is how high the stakes are. For India, they can afford 1 loss, but that is only hoping if and only if Australia beats South Africa 3-0. So India will have to win all 5 or 6 tests to ensure that they are in the fray for the World Test Championship. But if this whole series is drawn, Australia versus South Africa, then the equation will change drastically. So that is why we are hoping that this match is finished quickly, so that at the end of the day, India stay in contention for the World Test Championship. Because a draw and a loss, maybe 2 draws or 2 losses, will ensure that India are not making the trip to the Oval on June 7th. So this is the scenario that we are faced at this point in time. Bangladesh needs 6 sessions to survive. But realistically, India will need a couple of good sessions to ensure that the test match is wrapped up on day 4. KL Rahul will be setting attacking fields, and Kuldeep Yadav, Akshar Patel and Mohammad Siraj will hold the key along with Ravichandran Ashwin and Umesh Yadav. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates on sports today. Remember, there is the FIFA World Cup 3rd place playoff between Croatia and Morocco, and on Sunday, it is the grand final. Argentina versus France. Argentina, Lionel Messi will be hoping for providence on that day and ensure France do not get their 3rd title. On the other hand, France will be hoping to eliminate 60 years of a wait by joining Brazil and Italy as the only nations to win the FIFA World Cup back-to-back. Thank you so much, folks. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis. Tap that bell icon. And also don't forget to download the SportsTak app, because you are going to see highlights of a very special match that happened in the Big Bash League. Remember, the number is 15. And that is where you can see the highlights where Sydney Thunder were bundled out for 15 in what was the lowest ever total in the history of men's union. You can find that only on the SportsTak app. Thank you.